What's up guys, Kevin Cage here with another cryptocurrency update. In today's video, we're going to dive into API3. We're going to be discussing some new testing that is going on with NFTs on the XRP ledger. Talk a little bit about the Algorand ecosystem, the Fear and Greed Index, and the three big players behind the Hedera DeFi Alliance. So the total cryptocurrency market cap is still under 1 trillion at 908 billion. Bitcoin at 20,000. And the Bitcoin price chart right here really hasn't done anything in the past 3 weeks. Really just consolidating on the previous all-time high that was set in December 2017. The same level where we broke out and began the bull run in December 2020 right there. All the way to creating a new all-time high price, and then creating a second all-time high. Now since the Bitcoin all-time high price of about 69,000, we have crashed 74% wick to wick. And we really just did a free fall. We have yet to even backtest these higher levels around $25,000. Now looking at the Bitcoin CME futures gaps, yes, we did have another gap close at this level. Let's just call it about $18,900. Notice closing that liquidity gap that we had here that was set in 2020 of December. This crash closed this gap, but we do still have open gaps on both sides, both on the lower levels and the higher levels. So we have an open gap at about $28,000 for Bitcoin, along with about $34,800. Now with that being said, we have higher gaps. We also have lower gaps. The next one would be at about $9,800. Go back in history, look at 74% crashes, look at 85% and even 90% crashes. This too will pass. Now remember, gap theory, looking for these liquidity gaps, especially in the futures market. This is just another confluence. This does not guarantee anything. And remember, we did have a gap right here that was open if you zoom in on smaller time frames. And from here all the way to the wick, Bitcoin crashed, let's just say 55, 56%. Then from there, it rallied all the way up to close that gap, another 100% pump, and then created a new all-time high price. Now looking at a few assets with pivots, we have API3, the price chart on the left-hand side. We can see a crashing structure, lower low, and then starts to get that recovery, some buy volume coming in, which is great to see. We can see some of the moving averages or EMAs curling up, cutting through. We have some golden crosses forming right here. Potentially the 21 cutting through the 34. We rode this pivot, the P pivot, and then got all the way up to the R3, wick to perfection. So from API3's all-time low price to that wick, we could see a 140% retracement. So right here we have Casper, the massive crash, and now retracing a bit, riding this P pivot. Yes, we had some wicks up here along with the KuCoin listing as well, but then we came back down. So we are riding this P pivot. Could we potentially see some volume coming our way, the RSI cutting up, and then us pushing to those higher levels? I also put together this quick API3 thread, and I'm actually going to bookmark this right in my folder for API3. And if you don't understand it, go through the white paper, go through the website, and just kind of keep reading it to yourself. Take some time, watch the videos that the API3 community puts out. It helped me a lot. Now this use case is massive. And Sasha of API3 says in her blog that I link right here, APIs, application programming interfaces, are often referred to as the glue that holds the digital world together. Now going off the website, a few points to cover: the API3 Alliance and the Open Bank project. What are beacons? What is Airnode? And what is the API3 token itself and the DAO? So to give a quick synopsis, the Web3 API economy, creating trustless applications that interact with web APIs. First-party oracles are the next generation technology to access off-chain data, any information that exists off the blockchain. And API3 is leading the movement from legacy third-party oracle networks to first-party oracle solutions that deliver more security, efficiency, and data source transparency. So let's break down the API3 Alliance. This is massive. Let me just open it just to show you how big this gets. This is the largest association of API providers on Web3. We understand the value proposition of crypto assets and we want to see the adoption. But there are many problems and there's friction that exists. Blockchain-based Web3 applications have been limited by their inability to use real-world data and services. This API3 Alliance changes this. So let me just kind of zoom out. Look at this. Gigantic. Now that, plus their other partner, the Open Bank project, and this is right on their website, 500 APIs and 11,000 developers. Now open banking, for all of us XRP holders, we understand the value. But the APIs also need to get rid of these middlemen. And API3 is GDPR compliant as well. So Open Bank project is the global standard and open source API solution for open banking. XRP, the standard for payments. QNT, the standard for interoperability with Overledger. API3, the standard for APIs and Web3 APIs. Next up, we have beacons. What are beacons? Essentially, beacons are what connect these Web3 applications to off-chain data. So they allow smart contract developers to connect to these Web3 apps to continuously updated streams of off-chain data This could be the latest crypto prices, stocks, commodities. So maybe always sourcing the correct price of Bitcoin from a trusted source, not a centralized source or oracle that may have a vested interest in providing a slightly higher or lower price. So when you see Beacon, think of something that connects these Web3 apps to the off-chain data. And you can see tons of benefits listed on their website: data source transparency, cost efficient, the reputation matters. So when data comes directly from a reputable source, the provider's off-chain reputation comes with it. The more transparent that these actual sources are, it means more selectivity and security. And these beacons are highly scalable for a wide range of use cases. Now let's talk about AirNode. What is AirNode? AirNode is essentially a Web3 middleware that connects any web, API, or application programming interface directly to any blockchain app, connecting the API to the blockchain application itself, whereas the beacon connects the Web3 app to off-chain data. We'll talk about the partners and investors behind this as well. So by connecting these web APIs directly to a blockchain application, this actually removes the middlemen, e.g. oracles, that bridge the smart contracts and the APIs. Now we can create a direct path. Once again, AirNode, free to use, GDPR compliance. There's zero trust required, and it's effortless operation and maintenance free. It doesn't require any type of server. So the API providers do not have to trust a node or group of oracles. They can actually run it themselves, plug and play. And if you listen to the community calls, it's basically about setting up a plug-and-play solution that can be ready within minutes. It doesn't take days or months to set up properly, and it's always easy to change. And it's extremely easy to maintain. Let me show the token, the DAO, the roadmap, and then we're going to dive into the investors and the partners. And the white paper is available right on their website. We can do a control find for token, where this includes the use cases and the tokenomics of the API3 token, which is the lifeblood of the entire project. And API3 is actually governed by a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization, which I think is the best move for a giant project with a giant alliance already. So the API3 DAO builds, manages, and monetizes decentralized APIs or D-APIs at scale. These dApps, or decentralized applications, use the API3 token to gain access to a D-API. Token holders stake into a pool to receive rewards and voting rights at the DAO as well. And this staking pool is actually used as collateral for an on-chain insurance service that provides D-API users with a quantifiable level of security. And if you're not familiar with the API connectivity problem, I highly recommend checking this out. So we want to ensure that this DAO is rewarded for good results and then penalized for bad ones. So the API3 token has three main utilities. One would be staking, which include weekly rewards, approximately about 12.5%. Acts as collateral, which backs the insurance services that protect users from damages caused by any type of D-API malfunctions. And then governance grants direct representation into the API3 DAO. The API3 token is the fundamental unit of the web API economy. And this token is the lifeblood of API3. Users stake their tokens. The pool of staked tokens provide coverage for Web3 APIs, beacons, and D-APIs. And locking these tokens allows developers to subscribe to API access. And the roadmap is right on their website. And to see a list of some of their investors and partners today, including Digital Currency Group, one of the biggest in the game, API3, one of the first and largest crypto hedge funds in the world, Emergo, one of the founding entities or founding arms of the project Cardano. So could we see API3 maybe partner with Cardano in the future? Yes. We also see Moonbeam or Glimmer, another asset I am watching. And could we see interoperability of API3 with the entire Polkadot ecosystem? Yes. And then additional partners include Alliance Block, makes me think of Casper too. We have Cadena, we have Rose or Oasis, we have Harmony One, Polygon Matic, so a huge L2 solution, and of course the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Now looking at the Chainlink price chart, really all of its price history dating back to about September 2017, from the all-time low price to the all-time high from 2017 to about 2021 in May, Chainlink did a 41,000% pump. Meaning that over the past few years, Chainlink did over a 400x return. That's awesome. Now, can Chainlink go to $100? Could it go to 4 digits someday? Anything's possible. I'm not a financial advisor. But my personal strategy, right or wrong, is when assets do a 100x in a short period of time, or a 400x, or Phantom did virtually a 2000x in the past 2 years, I'd personally take profit or rotate out of those and then focus on the young ones. So right or wrong, guys, I'm wishing you well if you're a Chainlink holder. I'm not bashing Link whatsoever. But I am personally betting a lot more money on a young buck that is sitting at an all-time low price. So this is Chainlink of 400x, so $1,000 becomes 400k. And then we have API3, created a new all-time low price, really close to that ICO price. I believe it was under $1. and the all-time high is only $10.50. Now, yes, the tokenomics are different. This is crypto. Anything can happen in this market. I believe Chainlink is down, what is it, like 85%? I believe API3 is down about 80% even. So just want to emphasize, this is not financial advice. I want to focus on the young bucks, and API3, out of almost all the crypto projects, has one of the most active GitHubs in crypto. You can check things like Crypto Miso and see the activity via GitHub, where you can see a lot of their code commits. And sometimes I like to look for companies that make mistakes and leave some private information public. Next up, Binance the exchange is set to drop Bitcoin trading fees to 0 on select pairs globally. Wow. So this will be including Tether, BUSD, USDC, the Euro, and I believe the Turkish Lira, or the TRY. Now stay with me, I want to read this and then go to the next piece of news. So we have JP Morgan's head of asset management sales has left the bank to join Pantera Capital as COO. Who invested into API3? Pantera Capital. Now this is really interesting. So Bank of America has reported a 50% decline of active crypto users. Surprise, surprise. We can see the source right here, crypto users, and let's just see the drop. Of course, usually similar to the Bitcoin price chart, where the high and then Bitcoin's price created a new all-time high. It was kind of a double top and we crash. Now markets work retail users. When we're at all-time low prices like this, when the fear and greed index is looking like this, and we are just in extreme fear for weeks and weeks and weeks, really months, that's when the smartest investors, even though it's hard, even though we're disencouraged, are focused on researching, dollar cost averaging, or looking for even better entries. The typical retail person, or maybe your friend that only dabbles in crypto and you're all in crypto, they leave when it gets hard and they come back at all-time highs. And even if right now it doesn't seem like we're going to make it out of this is exactly how it felt in March 2020. This is how it felt in 2018 and 2019 when we were down 85%. So this too will pass, and yes, I hope it's sooner than later. The fear and greed index, I actually just clicked the 1-year time frame. This is on alternative.me, looking at crypto fear and greed. You can see greed, of course, really similar to Bitcoin's all-time high price, and then crash, crash, crash. We've just been at this level. I mean, look at this, since even May 9th, all the way, extreme fear. Markets do not last in extreme fear forever. Next up, we have Matthew Liny. I just wanted to highlight this, a post that he shared back in 2020. The Arab Monetary Fund using RippleNet for financial inclusion. Now, the UAE has some deep ties with RippleNet, surprise, surprise, and also Casper. Now, Buna is to support the Arab banking using blockchain. Now, thank you for the tag back in the day. We can see a few examples. I'll speed through this. 2020, the Arab Monetary Fund. Buna right here discussing liquidity requirements, central banks, the receiver bank, the sender bank, looking at cross-border retail payments. Blockchain right here is estimated to bring down the global bank's operational costs by 30 to 70% by 2025. You can see XRapid, Crypto Asset, XRP talking about RippleNet, B2B cross-currency. I know we've gone over this probably 12 times over the past few years. But what Matthew wanted to point out is that the United Arab Bank goes live with the Arab Monetary Fund's Buna platform, and this is XRP enabled. Now let's go through this amazing thread shared by Jeremiah Crypto. Be sure to follow this guy, awesome information. Algorand is a permissionless blockchain that runs on a Byzantine agreement protocol which utilizes pure proof of stake, or PPOS. This ensures full participation, protection, and speed with a truly decentralized network. And remember, Gary Gensler, everybody's favorite person, the SEC chair, is friends with the founder of Algorand, who, of course, represents MIT, Silvio Micali, the person that founded Zero Knowledge Proofs. And they are striving to become the greenest blockchain, or a carbon negative solution. Algorand, the future of finance? Now, a few things I love about Algo. Now, I actually first bought Algo in 2019 when it was first listed on Binance US. And although I'm not the happiest with the recent price performance, I do have heavy faith in the future of Algo. It is ISO 222 compliant, over 500 partnerships. And yes, the price dumped, but they are expanding hundreds of millions of dollars in funding to grow this ecosystem, just like the Hedera ecosystem. Although the price dumped, I'm happy that they're reinvesting this capital to grow and really get those roots in the ground to ensure that this layer 1 is a survivor alongside XRP and HBAR. Carbon negative, pure proof of stake, creating central bank digital currencies. It's done a variety of trials with the Marshall Islands as well, early days. And I know Thinking Crypto Tony had an amazing interview back in the day, like years ago, with Algo discussing this with the Marshall Islands. And when I saw that, I was just like, oh man, I need to really look into this. Then I started doing a lot more videos in 2020 after the March 2020 crash. 1.5 million transactions a day. Now the number of developers changes, but I did see that Darren Moore even shared at one point, Algo had more developers than the company Facebook. Over 5 million NFTs, has not failed, very true. I'm not sure what this means. Fully decentralized, top-of-the-line smart contracts expanding to have 40,000 transactions per second and working with a variety of governments. So I just recently shared this in Discord. I wanted to go over this, OM5. We can see Algo right at the top next to one of the earliest Ripple investors, Accenture, Finality, HSBC, Facebook, really, Novi. We have STX, which of course has heavy integrations with XRP, QNT, you name it. DBS, which is also on the council of Hedera, which is one of the largest banks out of Singapore. We have Ripple, surprise, surprise, MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, the DTCC, don't even get me started. What is cool about this group, OM5, is Algorand. Now, when we come to the homepage, and we're going to click About, just so you guys can navigate this yourself and show your friends, you can see investable assets of $43 trillion at the heart of this network. This is a think tank for central banking, economic policy, public investment, neutral platform for public and private sectors. Insane. So again, Algo, HBAR, XRP are not scams. The bear market makes everybody super cynical. Everybody gives up hope. It's simple. If you don't believe in your investment, do what's best for you. If you have to sell it, sell it. Me, I'm not selling. I'll be stacking. And then highlighting some of the funny stuff like the LimeWire NFT marketplace on Algo and also Napster coming back from the dead. And also big thanks to Jeremiah for this thread, guys. Must follow. We have Silvio McCallie. We also know David Schwartz has said that he's a fan of zero-knowledge proofs, which are incredibly important for the future of blockchain adoption. Worked closely with Gary, Boo. You can see a variety of awards right here, and was actually founded in 2017. And if you guys have not seen the MIT courses that Gary Gensler taught on blockchain, they're available on YouTube if you want to watch, just to get a feel of his way of thinking. Remember, Gary's a $100 million man. And the CEO right here, Stacy, has an impressive resume as well. JP Morgan, Milken Institute, NASDAQ, International Economist for Department of Treasury in 2000, Carnegie, and Development Economist at Harvard. Cool. Carbon negative, so extremely energy efficient and following the lines of OM5 and some of the largest central banks in the world. Think about what the International Monetary Fund has said. They are not a fan of proof of work. Now, some people don't like proof of stake, and I get it, but it is levels ahead of proof of work. And the smart contracts for Algo are 120 million times less carbon than Bitcoin. And a few partnerships right here to keep an eye on. Algorand Marketing and NASDAQ, Miami to deploy an air quality monitoring on Algorand's blockchain. Now, who else is a huge investor in Algo? Michael Arrington, good buddies with Brad Garlinghouse. And Michael Arrington loves Miami, and he's also tight with the mayor of Miami. Building on Algorand has never been easier. There are currently 386 projects being built currently on Algo, and 10 decentralized applications with DeFi protocols. So all of these ecosystems, we're going to talk about HBAR in a minute as well. We want to have a high level of total value locked. We want to have billions locked up. We want to have liquidity for all these DeFi protocols and automated market makers. And Algo has over 500 partnerships. You can see some articles. This was posted in March. We can see right here, Algo, 250 million Algo grant program, constantly reinvesting to grow their ecosystem. This is what a serious project looks like. Building an interoperable ecosystem. And this is what I was talking about, the SOV, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, powering the world's first national digital currency. Also see Circle, just like Hedera, Solana, AVAX, XLM. Okay, I'm going to speed through this because this video is getting way too long. FIFA has chosen Algo as their blockchain of choice. Awesome. I don't think I have to explain how big this is. Over 1 billion people watched the 2018 finals. And the 2022 World Cup will be in Qatar this November. You can see a variety of countries and places, healthcare payments, government infrastructure, copyright protection in Italy. Awesome. Global University program right here. We have Berkeley, we have Waterloo, Carnegie Mellon, partnerships with stablecoins, whether we love them or hate them, and central bank digital currencies. And please remember that OM5 connection that I shared. And head of business development, Barry, said that Algorand is working on 16 central bank digital currencies, but never said which ones. So could these be, some smaller countries? Regardless, this is huge. Algorand ecosystem. Now this is what an ecosystem looks like. Look at these metrics on the right. You can pause it. Showing a variety of connections between a lot of these compliant and ISO tokens. LCX, XTC, HBAR, XLM. Could also include Casper with IBM. Man, what a thread. So I'm actually going to leave this at the top. You guys can see Gary talking Algo as well. You can see the current circulating supply. Keep tabs on this. And Algo is basically available on every single exchange. Its all-time high was $3.28, so kind of close to that XRP price. But on another exchange, Algo had a crazy wick that actually took it to a 4.236 that I've posted before. So keep an eye on OM5, or the official monetary and financial institutions forum, a $43 trillion think tank. I'm going to break this video into two parts. I'm going to upload what I have now, and I'll get working on the next one. Big thanks to everybody that hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.